Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elder apostles of Yasharallah. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah, Quadash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth, so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwaf that's keeping the faith and the works. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. I was watching the elder brother Malcolm out of GMS's Chicago camp. Critical race facts, right? The brother be bringing out some hardcore truths, man, and I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from the elder apostles on the subject as well. But the subject is the origin of America, the origin of race in America, right? It's not what you think, man. It's not what you think. Basically, our plight in this place, right, as it is today, stems from several precepts, but one kind of sticks out to me, and that's the book of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." That was our issue, right? We are kind people at the root of us. I know we involve ourselves with niggerdom all the time, but that's a taught trait, right? The root of us is kindness, one amongst another and one amongst everybody, right? So when we first came over here, we weren't over here as slaves, right? We were over here as indentured servants, but we weren't alone in our indentured servitude, right? You had low-level Edomites that were indentured servants as well, right? But when Jake do a thing, man, right? And our enemy or our enemies always become jealous of Jake doing his thing, right? So our reluctant trust in this devil and this devil's true essence is the recipe for the state of being today. All right, so I'm gonna let this video play and I'll be back.
Hey, you, Caucasian. Hey, man. Hey, Blanco. Gringo, pale face. I gotta tell you a secret. Zungu. This might come as a surprise, but white people, listen to this. In America in the early 1600s, you didn't exist. Didn't exist? I hate to break it to you like this. Listen to what your history books missed. What would be made white were completely unrelated, undermelanated people. Frankenstein, collaged by an optical illusion. The ultimate mirage called race, a social construction like Santa Claus. Back in the day, y'all either English or Scot, Irish Catholic or Protestant, land owning or not, but you can't have white without black in America. Back before we was Captain America, black wasn't a race. Africans came from different nations, like in Dongo, where Queen Nzinga reigned. Indigenous were the same. Powhatan, Doeg, regardless of tribe, melanin didn't determine fate. Skin color didn't make a difference, no matter what hue your flesh was tinted in, cause your complexion wasn't kinship, and pigment was insignificant. It didn't prevent you from certain privileges. This is the story of how skin became color, color became race, and race became power. The creation of the Caucasian, white Aryan. It's the story of how white became American. The census says your race is white. Don't believe the hype. 1650, Jamestown. Meet William Berkeley, appointed by King Charles II of England to govern colonial Virginia. He rules with an iron hand and enriches a small cadre of English landowners. They grow tobacco. The sweet leaf is gold. America's first road to riches. Yeah.
Now, of course, they miss a few key points, such as King James and his sons were black, right? Were so-called blacks, right? That's why this is another reason why we stress the point of so-called, because it's not about a skin thing, man. It's about a spiritual thing. This is all spirit right here, man. Right? That's why a lot of people can't get the concept because they're too occupied in carnality. They're too occupied in the flesh. But you got to look at things from a spiritual perspective, right? Like I stated earlier, we didn't come over here at first as slaves, right? We had a whole nother way of life when we first got to this place, right? So I'm gonna let the thing play.
To grow the crop, they kidnap and capture men, engaged in human trafficking and trap the African. And if they can't steal the labor, then they use lies as lures of false promises as tools to recruit all the poor from Bristol to Liverpool. Little did they know that they were in for something cruel. Jamestown was their destination.
All right, so the difference between the two, as far as we go, and as far as the Edomite indentured servants. Edomite indentured servitude lasted for a certain point of time for that individual to pay a debt. Once that debt was paid, they had the option to be free. They could go back and, build. But our indentured servitude turned into indefinite servitude, which led to, slavery, like chattel slavery.
When Berkeley looks at his servants, what does he see? Color, of course, but color doesn't mean much to a man of means.
See what he said? Color doesn't mean much to a man of means. It wasn't about the color. It was about power. It was about the riches. The same thing is about today. You got the 1% that run this world. That same 1% of the day is the 1% of old. It didn't transfer or change. Another family didn't grow up out of nowhere and dust themselves off and move on up in them ranks. It's the same 1%. It's just people have kids, and those kids grow and have their own families, and they might take on different names, right? But at the end of the day, same family, same agenda, right?
Waste, dirty, diseased, lazy animals. I would sooner call my hound brother than a servant of any shade. Under God and by law, he has the right to whip, maim, starve, buy, or sell them at his pleasure. But he fears them. He should. The rich are few, and the poor are many. It's almost impossible to imagine now, but the poor see themselves as one. They have a common bond and a common enemy. Together. 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 The Africans and English worked together. They labored and lived, prayed and made a life together. Stole, escaped, hold and wait together. They got lashed and went to jail together. Worked hard and catch hell together. It wasn't criminal for them to love together. Got married and had kids together. The colony was filled with different shades together. Mahogany, tan, olive, and beige together. Molasses, dark chocolatey flavors together. Peach, bronze, amber, and brown. But very soon life would change up in Jamestown. There's no lifetime slavery yet. The indentured Europeans and Africans can still buy their freedom. Released from bondage, they'd set out in search of land. For these new frontiersmen, freedom is a rotten promise. The rich own all the good soil, and the indigenous tribes desperately grasp for the rest, fighting for every acre they have left. The frontiersmen seethe with each new tax, each broken promise, each death, each rich man that grows richer, each poor man that grows poorer, until they can't take it anymore. 1676, time to take matters into their own hands. They cast one Nathaniel Bacon as leader, the son of an aristocrat who came to the frontier after squandering his inheritance. Under Bacon, they band together to take land from the tribes and power from Berkeley together.
See? Together. Same mindset of today, right? Now, true enough, this together back then brought about a change. The same way the together of today brings about certain change. But the change that was brought about through that together of old, it's the same change that was brought about today, right? Because through that together in days of old came the construct of racism, came the idea of let's create an entire nation called white and let's create another nation called black and let's separate them. Let's create a nation called red and separate them. Matter of fact, let's add Indian to that red and make sure that the world knows that they're savages, right? Let's separate the mulattoes, right? Separate them over here. That's what came about with this together. Because like I stated at the beginning of the video, our problem it's several precepts, but one that sticks out in my mind is never trust thine enemies, right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13 and verse 23. It says, can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Right? So it's in them, man. It always has been. That has always been our dynamic with these individuals. It's always been beef from the beginning of us in the womb. Right? Always been contention, man. Always. Right?
Get your knives. First target is the tribes. Kill the men, women, and the children. Women, and the children. 100 men turned into 1,000. A posse-turned guerrilla army is astounding. And Dongo, English, Angolan, Irish fought together to abolish all the tyrants and the snakes, ready to mount the heads on stakes. Enough of these rich men, of these false men, corrupt men. Light the torches and set Jamestown ablaze. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn. Jamestown put the ashes in an urn. 100 years before the revolution, Africans and Europeans were in union. Let it burn, let it burn. The British never wanted us to earn. So bring the fire to the upper classes. We can make a better future from the ashes. Berkeley watches Jamestown burn, and he burns with vengeance.
The waste must be cleansed from God's green earth.
Behind a British gunship, retribution. Berkeley hangs 20 and scatters the rest into the wilderness. The rich of Jamestown know it could have been their own necks hanging from the end of a poor man's noose. To survive as rich men, as powerful men, they vow never to let the poor rise up again as one. But how? What scheme? What deception? In 1681, white will appear in a legal document for the first time in history when Virginia bans Africans from marrying whites. One law of dozens creating and separating the races. Blacks across the colonies will be enslaved for life, no longer treated as human, but as property. Poor whites were handed the whip. The rich exploited their ignorance. They traded rebellious plots for managing slave auction blocks, and any chance for both of their freedom was lost. It doesn't happen overnight, but the rich divided people by phenotype. Melanin, skin color, you dark, you light. Your life or death could be determined by the question, are you white? Well, are you white? Go ahead. Take a look in the mirror. Ask yourself, am I white?
All right. So there it is. That's the truth. But see, the pact that they made that they would never allow an uprising as such again, they don't speak for the Most High, right? That's the job of the prophets. And the Most High says he will put the Egyptian versus the Egyptian. It will be nation against nation. It will be an uprising, right? And it ain't nothing they can do to stop it, right? This the book of Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 19. It says, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Right? We are already we saying that now because we seeing the truth. The truth that was hid from us by law, right? Because it was against the law for us to know how to read. It was against the law for us to really be intelligent. And if we were intelligent, we had to be used for their benefits, not ours. Right? But the Most High Spirit is back on this earth. And he dealing with his people again. And he blessing us with understanding of his word. Through Yahweh Shai. Right? Through Harakah Kodash. Through the Comforter, man. The comfort is in those scripts. And those scripts say that one of these days, that get back coming. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. They led us into captivity on some sneaky laws. Right? There they go with them laws again. Right? And script says that's how they live. Unrighteous decrees. That's how they rule. Right? And there was no new thing under the sun. As long as these people exist and are in power, that's what it's going to be. But glory be to Yahweh, it's not going to always be that way. All right, so I'm going to end it there. Most High willing, these precepts in this video will edify him. Call Haloyim Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Shalom Yashala.